live uh, down here at the JLB part two. I was here last night, get off at 10 o'clock, well, 8, but 9 o'clock. And tonight, I get off at 2 a.m., supposedly 2 a.m., but probably earlier. But anyway, man, let's talk about this real quick, man, because it's a lot of stuff in the news right now. Um, as y'all know, the number one headline still is Hulk Hogan. He passed away. I talked about it yesterday. And he gone now. He gone. So whatever he did, it's history, man. That's the past. Okay, so I don't know why they flaming it up, and it is kind of disrespectful to the family, because he's not even here to speak about that. When he was alive, nobody mentioned anything about that 2012 incident. That's just my take on it, man. And I already said my piece on it, but it's like, why they flaming it like everybody trying to eat off of this situation? Now, s- apparently they bringing back the action figure down. Now, I can talk about that a little bit, but this ain't about Hulk Hogan. This about Glorilla. Now, when we were shorties, the action figure, man, it was like probably about, I could say probably about a 15-inch action dial. It was hard to get then, and I'm pretty sure it's gonna be hard as hell to get now. Uh, we got it as a surprise on Christmas. I think one of my uncles got the figure for us, but my cousin said everybody was trying to get this Hulk Hogan action figured out. Now Willie D just reported on his site. He just reported that. Matter of fact, I should have retitled this talk about Hulk Hogan Black the action figured out. We're gonna talk about that next. But anyway, Willie D reported that a lot of black people won't get the dial like that because it won't be open in the public to black folk. Come on, man. This is Hulk Hogan, man. It's gonna be everywhere. They're gonna be on Target shelves. It's gonna be everywhere. You can get the damn dial. But anyway, man, let's fast forward. We're gonna talk about that next. Now let's talk about this Glorilla situation. Now I can relate to her what she's going through. I really can because I had my little incident, my run-in with the CPD in Chicago, and I didn't do anything. Same thing like she didn't do nothing. I didn't do nothing, but she was in Atlanta. Okay, and as you know, it's a lot of stuff going on in the ATL. Lil Boosie started voicing that he was talking about it heavily, like, cause he gets stopped all the time. Okay, he a advocate at the Atlanta Hawks basketball game. He always down there, and he politic down there because he's showing like what they call it. No, he going out as a not. I don't know what the word I'm trying to say, but Boosie is active in the community. He's prevalent in the community in Atlanta. And since he got down there, y'all know what he doing. He building his estate, okay? And he acquiring a lot of property. Okay, same thing like Young Jeezy did, but they out of towners. They not from Atlanta like that. They're not from the state of Georgia. So him, Glorilla, and others, they having problems with the local authorities there because how they moving. Okay, they come there. It's like entrepreneurs. Okay, big conglomerate type people. And they spending a lot of money. And sometimes you can get envy for that. Especially from people that live there. Live there all their lives and stuff, and they really haven't crossed that threshold yet. Making wealth like that. So they coming in, and what Boosie doing is astronomical. But Glorilla, she just, she new to the scene. And she seeing how they get down, in that state. And she was performing at the WNBA All-Star game, and, apparently somebody broke in her house while people was there. Snoop Dogg, this Snoop Dogg? No, that ain't Snoop Dogg. But apparently somebody broke in her house, and when they broke in her house, she was performing, and it was some, I guess the robbers they tried to, I guess run off with some of the jewelry, but They didn't know she had people in the crib. So she had an armed suspect. I ain't gonna even say suspect, but she had an armed uh, uh, person in her house. It could have been a security or whatever. And he fired shots. And they hurried up and got out the crib. Now, when the police came, because one of the relatives called the police, right? Now, when the police came there and they started doing an investigation, they found some marijuana. Now, this is kind of ironic because it's like, okay, you come there after somebody called call for like a breaking and entering. You come in there, you looking for, they telling you what happened, and of course, people live there. And last time I checked, marijuana is legal, right? Is it legal in the state of Georgia? Somebody tell me in the chat. Is it legal? Because I'm thinking it is legal in the state of Georgia. Now they said they found a small amount of marijuana. Now this kind of relates to my case when I got stopped by the CPD right in front of my crib in 2000, what, like 4, 5, something like that. And I didn't do anything. All I did was I went, filed my taxes over there on Western, came back. When I went upstairs, but before I even got up out the car, I didn't even get a chance to get out the car. The police they swarmed up on me, told me to put my hands out the window and stuff. I complied with the officers and stuff. And my oldest daughter, mother's sister was living with us, and she seen what was going on. Looked out the window, and she told my oldest daughter mother, was something going on down there. That before they put me in a squad car. So she came downstairs and she started jaw jacking with the police. And I'm like, I'm just looking at this like in horror, like, man, I'm trying to figure out what's going on. Like, you know what I'm saying? Why I'm in handcuffs, why I'm in the back of a squad car. And I just came from filing my taxes. That was it. I'm sitting there watching a white man and a white lady, police officer, they just tear my car up. Then there was a brother there, he was on the side. And then there was a Mexican officer, he would want to put me in the handcuffs. And, I'm just sitting there watching this like a movie, like, man, and like, what's going on? Like, just horrified. Like, so when the officer come back to the car, he was like, I asked him, you know what I'm saying? I had to wait till he calmed down a little bit because he was arguing with my lady and shit. So I asked him when he got in the car, I was like, man, why am I, what's going on? He said, well, uh, we found some marijuana in your car. I was just like in shock, like, for real? You found some marijuana in my car? I already smoke weed, you know what I'm saying? Like, my cousin, whenever I have my relatives around me and stuff, I have them they smoke outside my ride. Because I make them respect the fact, I got a little baby and stuff, so. And plus, I don't like the smell, I had grew out of the shit, right? But anyway, still to this day, man, it kind of, I can't be around it, man. It's like, especially if I ain't, this my whole take on it, man. I can't smoke if I'm broke. If I ain't in my crib and if I'm not in my crib and I got a big ass theater in my crib, and I ain't got no pool, I ain't got no grotto, I ain't got no jacuzzi, nothing like that, I'm broke. So that means I don't need to be smoking because I can't, I can't see myself smoking in poverty, man. I cannot no more. I can't do it, man. It's like the vibe, it just kills the vibe. You know what I'm saying? You can make your reality whatever you want it to be. And I can't see myself smoking in the hood. And we got crime and shit. We got mice and roaches and shit. You know what I'm talking about? We got niggas outside and shit, begging, killing people. And come on, man. This is horror right here. So it's like, I don't want to be high looking at this type of shit. If I get high, I want to be like in a fantasy. Like, that's how it was when I was in high school, when I was balling. It's like, man, I was going to all the nice places, the elegant places and shit. You know, it just, man, it just complimented how I was feeling. You know what I'm saying? When I got high. But I can't see myself smoking. Like right now, I'm working. I can't see this is like slavery. I can't see myself smoking and we working. It's like you still in shackles and chains and stuff and following orders there. You know what I'm saying? Like, it don't make no damn sense. You do all that after the fact. When you get wealthy, in my opinion, I would. If you get wealthy, get rich, then you could do that. You know what I'm saying? You living an extravagant lifestyle now, so it's like you always going to nice places, doing nice shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? You flying here, flying there. You know what I'm saying? You just enjoying the rich lifestyle. And I can relate to what Corey was saying from SSG. He was like, It's not for everybody, man." He said, "If you can't afford it, don't even try to do it." You know, and that was some real fact shit he was talking about. Like, how you gonna try to keep up with the Joneses and you ain't got no money? You ain't, especially if you ain't did the right stuff, to get some wealth. How you gonna keep up with the Jones? You playing, playing broke. Like you spending money and you ain't got no money. Don't make no damn sense. You both be spending your money on the right shit to get more money. Period. How I'm gonna sit up there and buy some $600 Jordans and I'm broke? You walking around with some $600 Jordans and you broke. What type of sense do that? You going right back to the hood with some $600 Jordans on? Whatever type of shoe, clothes, designers, all that. If you going back to the hood and you ain't got no condo, in my opinion, you ain't got no house. Your crib ain't, you ain't got nothing. Make that make sense to me, okay? Especially, I was always like this as a shorty. I 16 years old, I'm talking about I couldn't do it. If I didn't have no bread, I just didn't feel right. You know what I'm saying? If I didn't have no real bread, I used to keep $2,000 in my pocket. And I was a high school star basketball player. I kept 2,000 in my pocket. I just leveled up right now to the same thing. I keep about 2 bands on me while I'm at work. So that's what I'm saying. But still, I'm still working. After the fact, when I get through working, then I'm gonna show you how I ball. You know, right now I'm grinding. I'm putting that money up, getting wealthier, stacking it up. You know, it don't make no sense to spend it and you ain't got it. But anyway, but that's what was going on with me when I got caught. Well, I got stopped by the police and I didn't do nothing, right? So I could relate to her situation and what she going through. And she leveling up right now. She starting to get appearances and stuff. All that stuff is, that's making her bag a little different from everybody else. Cause she like they booking her, right? They asking her to come out to these events, okay? Even to walk through, she get paid big time bread. She becoming the number 1 artist in the country. That's the goal right now, I think, for her. She trying to compete. She competing with Drake. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so I know where she at right now with it mentally, cause she went on. She like on uh what's that, like a celibacy thing, and she trying to get married. She doing everything the right way. She handling herself and she conducting herself like like a real business professional. And she changed her whole lifestyle. It's like, and now this happens. When you start doing stuff like that, stuff start happening to you. Like same thing with me. I got my mindset right. They stole my car, broke in my car, they messing with my lady. It's so much stuff, man. It's like it's unbelievable, man, overwhelming. But if I was on some bullshit, then I probably wouldn't be getting. Probably wouldn't have no problems. Same thing like her. She professional right now, and they fucking with her. They fucking with her. Now she got incarcerated. Well, not incarcerated, but she got arrested. Same thing that happened to me. I got arrested. I didn't do anything. I got arrested 3 times, and I went and got a lawyer. Every time they tried it, I went and got me a lawyer, and I stood up for not just myself, the community, and let them know that you just can't do that to black folk. You know what I'm saying? And that's what she doing. She's speaking out on it because now she can file a civil against the state, right? Because they were supposed to be investigating a break-in. They came in there looking for some contraband and stuff. I'm telling you, you gotta be careful and pay attention to what's going on. Okay, because she is high profile now, and they targeting people. That's what they doing. They targeting people, and she one of the men. They taking people out. You know what I'm saying? You see what happened to the little girl Mellow Bucks. You know, her career is almost like over now. But from that incident, her career is over with. What's she gonna talk about now? Because violence perpetuated the situation. You know, and it was too early for her to change her image because she just got started, and she coming out of Chicago too. So it's kind of hard, to change that moniker, from being a gangster. You know what I'm saying? And from where she is, especially she way over east too, on the east side of Chicago too. So it's kind of hard for her to change that walk, But she could have did it. She could have did it. She could have moved. She got to move out the hood. That's what they kept telling FBG Duck. They kept telling Duck, you got to get out the hood. No, he's still over there in the park, right on the block. They kept warning them like, man, dog, you gotta get out the hood, dog. You know what I'm saying? You got too much bread. Same thing with Lil King, Bond, all of them. They kept coming to the hood. They being around the hood. You gotta get away from that. You gotta change your lifestyle. And that's what she was doing. That's what she doing now. But they pulling her back into it. But she not from Atlanta. She from Memphis. Same thing like Boosie. Boosie from New Orleans. But see, it's like the Boosie, he a little bit more smarter. How he moving and stuff. And she doing the same thing, but this is crazy. See what I'm saying? Like that. So now she got to level her game up. Her situation. She got to get in the gated community, a real community, because she got money. She got that bag. It shouldn't have been accessible for those people to gain access to her like that. So easy. See, that's the problem. That's a real situation. Now she need to get in a gated community in Atlanta, okay, with security. So she won't have no problems like that. Cause what if she was in the crib? She could be dead right now. She could be dead. So I'm pretty sure her people gonna advise her and they gonna move her around. You know, as far as her having this arrest on her, um, that's terrible because I thought it was legal for people to have marijuana, but you know, every state is different, so we don't know the we don't know the whole what word I'm looking for this case. We don't know the ramifications for this case like that. So we will see, man, because now they try to keep something in the headline news. They try to keep a headline, and like I told y'all, news is competing with social media because now we get the intel faster than the mediums now. People report to social media before it break on the news. Like they reporting about the three little kids that was joyride. They started off robbing. They was tagging cars and stuff, right? I forget what they call it. They go out and they same thing they probably doing in Chi-Town, right? Put their little gloves on and shit, and they start going lifting locks on the cars and shit, so they could break in and steal them, right? These three, along with like two or three white people, whites, they was riding together and it went south because they was supposed to be robbing and it turned into something else. I watched the whole like 3 hour. This was like 3 years ago. I watched the whole 3 hour like YouTube. It was like a police crime thing or something on YouTube. I watched it probably about 3 months ago. I watched this. I watched the whole entire thing when they had one of the suspects in custody and they was trying to get us, try to get him to, confess, to the crime. And he was snitching on his little homies and stuff, and ooh, this and that. And now the news got it. Now it's a headline because, like I told y'all, the mediums are competing with the social media outlets, and they getting beat now because now news is hurting. Come on, I used to do. I was going to school for that stuff, and it's real competitive. It's hard to get a job. So now that social media is here, YouTube is here. It's this pretty much like creating opportunities for people, and they getting platforms and stuff with podcasts and a lot of other stuff, and it's phasing out the news because now social media is the news. They getting everything, every headline that come across. Like I told you, I'm got a little bit of like clout, a little bit. I'm not as big as everybody else, but I start getting people tell me stuff, man. I be seeing stuff in my feeds and stuff. I be like, damn, and I jump on it, and a week later, it's on the news, or probably a couple of days later, it's being reported in the news. Like they talking about P Diddy right now. I don't know if it hit the news yet, but they trying to say P Diddy's trying to get bail because he went out of jail. Even though he got like 2 months, but they got 2 months left before they sentence him. He's saying that because of the crimes that that wasn't the crimes that they charged him for wasn't so heinous that he should be out on bail now. He went through the process, the process. And TMZ just broke the news, right? Like I told y'all, this is social media. TMZ is social media. They broke the news. It's all over YouTube now. Now everybody else picking up on it. Man, it's probably gonna hit the news probably by Thursday. Unless it's already on the news. I can check some of these channels right now and see if it's on some of the news mediums and stuff. But now they on the next headline, which is Hulk Hogan. That's it. That's the biggest hotline, the biggest headline. And now Glorilla probably in the news now. Because like I told y'all, that's what they look for. They targeting people and et cetera, et cetera. Now, they saying P. Diddy went out of jail and he putting that 50 million back up. They denied the $1 million bill. Now they want 50 million. He said, and they was Harvey and I was arguing about this on TMZ, and they was saying, "Why do you think he went out of jail? Like, shit, you tired of being up in there? If you ain't never been in there, it ain't no good feeling." Shit, I was only up in there for what 8, 9 hours every time I got caught. The 8, 9 hours. Think about that. 8, 9 hours. No TV. You looking at the motherfucking wall. When they put them handcuffs on you, boy, it's real, Jack. And they put your ass in that cell and they clock that and they click that motherfucker door. Clink. It's a wrap. And you up in there with other motherfuckers too. Like the first time I went up to I was in a holding cell. They transported me from the 3rd District, 71st Street, all the way over to 79th Street. And when I got to 79th Street, they had a little CO up in there, right? He was a little skinny little motherfucker, light skinned little nigga. He was cocky and shit because he the police. Motherfucker weighed about probably 100 pounds. Slapped the shit out of his little ass, right? Type shit. And I'm talking about, man, there was one dude kept hollering. I'm talking about, he was hollering like, CO, turn the lights. He kept going off. And he was like, man, shut your bitch ass up. He was like, and he said, turn the lights off on this motherfucker there. They turned the lights off on him. I guess he was still with some ops or whatever. But he was trying to get out he kept calling the CEO and shit. I was up in there cool as a motherfucker. I was chilling. I think I had 2 niggas in there with me when I was on 79th Street. And when I was at the 3rd District on 71st Street, I had 2 niggas up in there. I think there was some peace stones or whatever on 71st. And then when we got over there on 79th Street, they had me in a holding cell. I was with one nigga up in there. I think it was one nigga. And everybody kept asking, like, hey, we taking that ride tonight? We taking that ride? I mean, are we going to the county? We going to the county and shit? And I'm just sitting up there. I was ready for whatever because my people are already in there, so I didn't give a fuck anyway. But I was just trying to figure out, like, why I'm being wrongfully accused. And I stood up. I got me a lawyer. I just let them pee on me like that. You know what I'm saying? I stood up and I beat every charge Chicago ever tried with that bullshit, just Chicago bullshit. And they after they took our shoestrings out and all that shit, we was up in there. They let us all out. We went from the holding cell to like I forgot I forgot what they called the room, but that's where they put you at. The police will see you and shit. But you're not in the cell now. You're not in lockup. Now you right there before they release you. And I'm right there with the whole neighborhood where I came from. Everybody know who I am. At that time they know who I was. Still a hooper at that time, and they know I had a little family and shit. But everybody, why you up here? I don't know. They said I had some weed in my car, and I didn't have no weed. I didn't have no weed. I went to court for this shit for 3 years. For a gram of marijuana, they said I had a gram. You know how big a gram of marijuana? A gram of marijuana is like a pinch of salt. That's how. Same thing like I'm saying with how much did they find in Glorilla crib is the question. Now if they found some pounds in her crib. Now that's distribution. Okay. Now her lawyers are stating that they didn't find no they found a small quantity of marijuana. Okay, meaning it's something you can go to the store and buy at a dispensary or something like that, right? But if they found some pounds in her crib, some ounces, it's a wrap. But we gonna see. So she's trying to use the burglary thing now, as justification for, like the crime, because now you're looking at a two-way thing here, okay? Because now they trying to indict her now for drug possession, which is a big charge, depending on the finding. So now she got a court situation. All right, she made her bail though. Now she got a court situation, but her crib was burglarized. No telling why. They probably burglarized her crib because they was coming for them drugs. That's probably a big if factor, it factor. They probably was coming for that dope. Okay, and she got people in the crib strapped up. And you not from that state. You from Memphis. You from Atlanta. So, damn, if this is an indictment now, this gonna be the next big headline. Okay, that's why I'm jumping on it early because now you got P Diddy out the way, and they need another one. They need another one. And she used another one. She the hottest thing in the country right now. Yeah, but that's my time, y'all. I gotta get up here and do my release, man. I'm gonna holler at y'all next one. Make sure y'all like, share, comment, subscribe.